it's about the person. It's not necessarily really about the product. And those people, if they don't feel inspired and they don't feel driven and they don't feel lifted up, that community doesn't build itself, right? So for me, it was having that community that lifted me up and then me turning around and giving that same thing back.
Welcome to another episode of Clear Lake Connections, where we talk to the people behind the businesses of Barry Houston. Today I'm joined by Jake Trione, and I'm not going to tell you how he told me to say his name, with TriFitness. So tell us about TriFitness.
So TriFitness is a gym focused on functional aging. So kind of our target demographic are people that are 50 plus or people that need a higher level of coaching. We're trying to teach people really how to move better. When you know how to move better, overall your life improves. So I think a lot of gyms focus on aesthetics or focus on just sports performance, weight loss, things like that. A lot of what we're based off of is a strong community of people who are really looking to improve and enhance their overall day-to-day activities through movement in a fun, engaging, and effective environment.
So it sounds like I'm almost in your target market. So tell me what I might expect if I were to come to TriFitness.
Yeah, so we are a small group training facility. Overall, we're focused on trying to make sure that you get a personal touch every time you walk in the door. We do a very in-depth assessment where we're looking at your overall biomechanics, how you move, what are your goals, what are your past likes, dislikes. We're not really into just pushing you or into trying to improve the way that you actually experience fitness. We want you to create a relationship that kind of continues and maintains for years. So we have small groups only right now, really up to 6. And overall, we're based off of only having 8. We don't really share too much equipment. It's really kind of focused in on allowing you to have personal training in a little bit more of an affordable setting and have fun and engage with each other and be able to actually have a good time. And a lot of people say it doesn't even feel like exercise. So.
Well, good. And so given current circumstances, the spacing, that's important. I'm taking it for the people that come to the gym.
Definitely. So we were shut down for 2 months through March, April, and we're able to open back up in May. I spent 13 years in the Coast Guard, so part of what I did with that was I did decontamination for large oil spills, Deepwater Horizon, Texas City Y, things like that. So I actually put together an entire system of how we decontaminate what we consider our clean space and then our contaminated space. So when people walk in every single day, we check temperatures. We actually have them clean their shoes before they walk into our gym floor. Then they have to go and wash their hands before they actually even enter. And then we bought a bunch of equipment and spaced things out even more in a small, we have 3,500 square feet, so it leaves us really plenty of room to have 8 people spread out doing their workouts and feeling as safe as possible right now that we, from what we know.
Yeah. And so now we turn it over to Shari Sweeney, Vice President with Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, to let us know what's going on.
Well, thank you, Jameson. This is a great topic again. We're glad you joined us for our podcast. Want to let you guys know we have a leadership symposium coming up on February 4th. Leadership is important to everyone, whether they are a one-person show or they have 50 people underneath them. But everybody has to handle leadership and be an expert on that. Leadership symposium coming up. We have a great speaker who's going to present to us. We have a panel discussion coming up from some great CEOs in the community. But we really want to make sure that any type of business, you don't have to be a chamber member, you can be a chamber member. Either way, we want the community to succeed. And the way to succeed your business is to have great leadership. February 4th, just go to our website, clearlakearea.com. You can get registered for that. It's going to be virtual. So you don't even have to leave your office. You can stay safe, but it's going to be some great information. You're going to have some contact with some coaches who can really develop your business. They're going to help you get some information and then teach you how to unpack it with your team.
So tell me about the importance of goal setting and how that ties in with what you do with your clients.
Definitely. So, obviously it's the beginning of the year. So a lot of people, they do start with New Year's resolutions and they've got all the goals that they want to achieve. And really, when it comes down to it, we help people break it down into habits. And fitness needs to be a habit just as much as anything else. And if we can help people to understand on a consistent basis how to maintain a healthy movement and want to come back to healthy movement, that's really going to change the outcomes of goals like weight loss or goals like trying to build muscle mass or being able to move better or run a marathon or whatever it is you would like to do. We really break it down into that digestible piece that's actionable every single time.
And tell me about the relationship that you find between overall wellness and business success?
I think it has everything to do with business success. The more energy you have, the more connected you are, the more that you're at peace whenever you're having conversations with people, if you're a better listener, whenever you're not stressed out. So to me, it all goes in hand. And whenever you can efficiently sleep to 6 to 7 hours instead of needing 9 because you have inefficient sleep, all of that tied to your fitness, all that tied to your overall wellness and health, your business is going to operate better. As small business owners, our businesses really thrive off whether we're in good enough shape to handle what's coming every day, stress-wise, and all the things we're trying to manage. So if your health is declining, your business is going to decline. It really kind of goes hand in hand. I think you should definitely not only pay attention to the bottom line of your business, but you should also kind of pay attention to the bottom line of your health and where you're headed and where your habits are taking you.
Probably inextricably connected.
It really is. I don't think you can separate it personally. And when you're in a good mood, people want to be around you. You have, that pretty much contagious energy and people really feel that, and that's a big thing in the fitness industry is people like going to gyms, and not just because in the general sense that you'll get healthier, but there are a lot of people that are in better shape that have better energy because they don't feel bad. They don't have all the burdens. They're able to create better endorphins. I mean, there's physiological changes that just occur that just make you more relaxed when you exercise.
So you use the word community a lot, and that's really important to us because of Buy Into Bay Area and the community we're trying to instill in people staying local. And doing things local. And your business is a perfect example of a provider that's giving the community a place to come. What I'm really interested, though, in is how you came about that. How did you decide that you were going to be that much different from other places that offer, fitness services?
For sure. So I'm not from this area originally, but I think, Clear Lake to me has really welcomed me. I've lived here off and on since 2004. This last stint, I got stationed in Texas City in the Coast Guard in 2010, and they welcomed me, and I have so many people that are a part of the gym that really started kind of happening in 2011 is when this journey kind of began. And I decided in 2014, I had 2 years left on my Coast Guard contract, and I was already 10 years in, but I made the decision to leave. I'm a man of faith, and I really believe God called me to what I do. And so when I made that choice in 2013 and 14, I then just flipped the switch and I started finding ways to build that community, like you just said, of people around me that are going to support this mission and this drive. And nobody does what we do inside the gym in the way that we connect with people. It's about the person. It's not necessarily really about the product. And those people, if they don't feel inspired and they don't feel driven and they don't feel lifted up, that community doesn't build itself, right? So for me, it was having that community that lifted me up and then me turning around and giving that same thing back. And that's really why TriFitness exists the way it does. And, in 2019, when we first opened our doors here, brick and mortar, I was in my garage for all of 2018, a 240 square foot space. But we opened the doors in Space Center in Bay Area in 2019, and we had 13 events that year inside the facility, and it was because community is what we want. Mm-hmm. And when you build a strong nucleus inside, then that community can make an impact outside. And, it really just came down to trying to give back and seeing how much you can impact someone's life by just lifting them up and inspiring them and showing them they're capable. And to me, that's what fitness is about. It's about really inspiring you to really do more with the rest of your life.
So you mentioned that you, in your local events that you've been doing, you partner with a lot of other chamber members, local businesses. Tell me what inspired that.
So yeah, we have events more or less consistently as part of our community, and we get involved definitely with people from the local chamber. We just had our third annual fundraiser for Veteran Nonprofit, and it's our 2-year anniversary. We worked with Infinity Float Center, we worked with Seal Art Chiropractic and Instant Imprints. And definitely just kind of, I think in the long run, that brings that community closer. And those people see what we're doing and what inspires us and how we're making an impact in the community. And we hope to make that a little bit of a impact on them. And then they go do the same thing and just continue to spread, like you said, buy into Bay Area and just continue to give back locally.
Do you have a story you can go back to, one of your successes, one of your community members that you can tell us, and you don't have to use names, of course, but just something that you know that it's made a difference and you can tell and what that looks like?
Of course. So I'll tell one of the big ones that really got me to where I'm at, and help us to get the gym started. So this woman was, really didn't like exercise at all. Whenever she first met me, she was 71. And it was, I was just as much of a novice to training as someone at 71 as she was to working out. So we just bonded, and, I saw in her that she wanted to get better and she wanted to improve her capabilities, but she just felt, kind of personally like she was weak, and she felt like she was kind of had given herself the label of being lazy, which I think is a very, false sense of belief that we have across the board. And I really just connect with her and said, hey, look, we can do this. And, within a year, she was doing, 300 pounds on a leg press, and, I had her doing deadlifts. And so this individual's been with me now since 2012, 2013. And I was in my garage, like I said, 240 square feet in 2018. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew this is what I had made my mind up in 2014. And this individual, we were rehabbing. She had actually done a Spartan race with me at 74, but unfortunately, she had a tibial plateau fracture during the race. And we were rehabbing, and in the middle of this, session, I'll never forget it. She looks at me and she says, what would it take to train for life with you for the rest of my life? And I just kind of was taken back. And to me, it was a moment of, wow, like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, for one. And then this individual just sees in me the ability to help her to continue to maintain her quality of life, at a high level. And she decided, okay. So she bought into me, with no contract, saying that she was going to own anything that I had. Just bought into me training her for the rest of her life. I don't think she would be walking today if we hadn't started training together. Her husband since passed. I tried to train him for a while. He had congestive heart failure. And you just see so many people, as you train the older population, they don't have the same amount of friends anymore. They don't have the same amount of family anymore. The people that they grew up with aren't here, so to be a part of their lives and to be a part of their day-to-day activities, it just really inspires us as all of our coaches at TriFitness to be a better part of their day, and be a part of their day where they feel capable and they feel strong and they feel uplifted and not generic. And we drive. I mean, I had an 84-year-old woman pushing a sled this morning, and that's not a joke. And this is the first time she's done it in my gym. She used to do some CrossFit stuff, but she's been out of it for a couple of years. And to me, that's just amazing. And, to see that on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to stay dedicated. We have a woman who joined March of 2019. She's down 60 pounds, and we never talked about weight loss. It's not about that. It's about showing up every day. And when you focus in on just the goal that's not even digestible, you don't get anywhere, and you actually get frustrated because it's like, man, I went on this diet again and I didn't, actually see any results. Oh, yeah. And that's most people. It really is, because the habit is what the change comes from. So if I can teach you to love vegetables a little bit more, I could teach you to love protein a little bit more, and focus in on that, the weight will come off. So
yeah. Well, I love the passion you have, because I noticed it with my mom before the pandemic. She was active every day. After all that was taken from her, it's a noticeable decline. So I really appreciate what you're doing. You're giving people extra life, extra years. It comes down to that. So tell me about any specials you have, or any other last bits you want the listeners to know about.
Yeah, so I created what I call a kind of a functional aging guide, Fitness After 50, and we are offering that right now. If anybody's interested, they can email us at the email that we'll attach here, and they'll get a copy of that. And it really just kind of teaches you some of those things that you need to know of how to stay healthy, and what it takes, and how health can impact the way that you age. And it really is the fountain of youth. So it's really kind of a guide to show you how to dial that in, and actually make it, again, actionable.
Okay.
And then we also do a free intro to anybody. I want everybody to try what we do. And that's kind of the thing, is just come in. If you decide it's not for you, that's fine. But we offer a free introductory session to everyone, and I guarantee you will learn something in those 60 minutes about movement. I'm a biomechanics specialist, exercise physiology, so that's what I love, and that's what I like to find is kind of like more or less being a scientist, actually, and finding those little nuggets that I can fix in your movement pattern. My knee doesn't hurt anymore. Well, yeah, because you're using your hip more than you're using your knee now. So just really anybody that wants to try it out, or anybody that's excited about trying to learn more about their day-to-day movement, their day-to-day habits. We're not just for people over 50. That is our focus. But I mean, I've got a guy who's been training with me 4 years, and he's 26. And he joined with me 22 because a physical therapist referred him, and I've kept him healthy. So he's stuck around. So
anything else you want to tell us before we wrap it up?
No, I think in the long run, I just want to say, if you're thinking about joining the chamber and you're thinking about being a part of this group, you need to do it. Like, it's definitely been a benefit for me. It's helped me to connect with a lot of great people, and it's helped me to grow my business. And I think in the long run, that type of stuff gets you out of your comfort zone, which a lot of us end up needing, especially as business owners, because we get stuck in our day-to-day activities. You got to find those times to pull you out of it. And there's enough going on with the chamber that you can always find something.
Hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Please subscribe so that you'll get future episodes where we talk to the people behind the businesses in Bay Area, Houston. In my head. Hey, thank you for joining us for today's. Please subscribe to hear future.
Future people of business.
All right, one more. I can't do another one after that. This is it. One more. All right, we're good. And make sure you save these bloopers because they're priceless.